everybody, it is season review day for you today. Something that I'm hoping you boys will enjoy. Let me know down in the comments if there's something you enjoy. If I've missed out anything today as well, let me know. Basically, we're going to go through a little bit of a season review, how the tactic has developed, how it is looking in terms of comparing it to other things, other clubs in the Eredivisie. We also spoke about, if we look right now as well, we also spoke about dribbles per game with our centre-backs last season. And Chris, down in the comments, reminded me that you can just go into the player search and do that, because obviously we didn't have loads of centre-backs in the top 20 dribblers in the Eredivisie because it's not filtered to position. So I have filtered that. We'll have a little look at that. We'll look through the data hub. I'm also going to go through the process of what I do in terms of clearing out the squad, and then we can focus on our player recruitment. We've also got a number of backroom staff leaving, so there will be some changes made for Season 2. All right, guys, let's get into it. Smash a like on today's video. Thank you very much for everyone's support during Season 1. We've built up a decent number of people following the series, and now this longer form content that I'm producing, it's the content that I enjoy making. The pressure is off in terms of pushing stuff for views. Sorry, there's a cat scraping around on the floor beneath me, but I appreciate so far the support on this series. We're going to carry on with the tactical philosophy. We'll have a little tactics breakdown in every single episode going into Season 2. And I think for Season 2, if we can recruit well, which will be in next week's video, probably Tuesday's video, we will then have a look at possibly getting into Europe for Season 3. All right, guys, let's get into it. So, we spoke about this in Season 1. I wanted to look at dribbles for my centre-halves and how much dribbling they're actually doing. And I filtered out just for central defenders, and they've got to have played a minimum of 1,000 Eredivisie minutes this season. And as you can see, we have got 1, 2, 3. Our 3 centre-halves are in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 defenders. So even though the numbers are not massive, by the way, I even think that dude there, Pantelis, him, is probably playing right back. I've not scouted him, so I can't see what position he has been playing. I'm not sure if there's a skin, you know. I'm pretty sure there's a skin that I can access where it tells you what position they've been playing in without potentially having to scout them. Let me know down in the comments if there is a skin that does that, because it'd be an easy way of doing these sort of like comparisons. Timber as well has got very high numbers, and Jose Fontan. The majority have been played at centre-half, and as you can see, we're in decent company. I would still prefer that over 1. I'd be interested to see dribbles per 90 of other defenders in real life. I do try, and obviously the numbers and how they're measured and stats and how they're measured from FM to real life are different, but I would potentially like that. We're trying to encourage our defenders to dribble, and still averaging less than 1 dribble per 90 is not massive numbers. But as you can see, there's a bit of a drop-off down here in terms of numbers. So that's something that we can definitely look at as we go on. Now, diving in to the team in general. Now, this is what I do. So look at the contracts. Any expiring? Yes. So we've got Gerrit Nuber, who is 31 years old. So I am going to be letting him go. So what I tend to do is just move them for now into the reserves so they're out of the way. We've got this dude leaving, Jay Adives, just over $1,000 a week, hasn't played, 1 appearance as sub. He is already agreed to go to Den Bosch, so he's going. So our numbers are going to get, obviously Fontan is going, no chance we are going to miss him. We said in last episode we're going to miss him. And the 6.94, complete left wing back, left centre half, tremendous attributes compared to what we have. You never know, we will monitor it, because there's a chance that actually when the season kicks off for Celta, that he doesn't end up playing. I have seen it before, happens a lot. They say we're going to give him some game time, and then it doesn't come around. So fingers crossed, a deal might still be done. Teki is going. He's done okay. He's been a little bit of a backup, 7.76. I never quite understood why, at the start of the season in particular, they wanted us to play Teki, but he just passing 14. He was a little bit lightweight. And as I said, we did want our central midfielders to have a little bit more power about them. I think that's why we've maybe picked Willemsen more over Teki. He is going. Where's he going? He's going back to Sweden. 1.91 once again a week out of the wages. So there's another one gone. Lidberg, striker, hasn't done anything for us. We do need to sign a striker as well in the summer, so it makes sense to let him go. 1,300 a week gone. And then the rest are all in contract. Now, what we are going to do is we go back onto general. Age. The age profile isn't too bad, actually. We've got Erwin Mulder, who's our number 1 keeper. He signed a contract extension for a year. He's going to be our number 1 next season. We are going to try and get rid of Tardelli, which may be difficult. We may just have to have him as a backup next season. The only thing is, he's on 2,900 a week. That's a lot of money. So fingers crossed we can get him out the door, because if he's on that a week, he's going to be pretty much our highest earner. And then down the squad, Baka will stay. He's been playing as a libero, 15 passing. I think we could do with strengthening in all areas. Obviously, everyone would like to strengthen in each areas. But I think at the back, we're okay in terms of Amorfa as well, as coming to the side and done really well. Baka, we do obviously need to fix that problem because we're losing Fontan. Enric Lanza is potentially someone we may look at using. His left foot is reasonable, just not a lot of pace. Maybe a little bit of a backup. I am just keeping an eye on some of these wages, 1,500 a week. My only worry is that if we start trying to do a rebuild too early and we get people out the door and I can't replace them, I think it will have a little look of what's about, and then we may transfer list players like Lanzana a little bit later on in the window. Deji is wanting more game time. I'm happy to give him it as a little bit of a backup. What is he? He's 5'11". He could maybe do a job as a wide centre-back next season, maybe. There's an option. We maybe need to give him a little bit more game time to keep him happy. Martello has done okay. Once again, it's just okay. A lot of these attributes were around 11. Technicals 11. So we're not getting a massive deal from him on this right-hand side. So maybe something we can look at. I'm quite happy. Oh, he's on $3,000. He's on $3,000. I think it all depends on what we're going to have available. I think we're going to have about 500 grand to spend, which we may look at using. I don't want to get loads of loans in. We're going to have a limit of 3 loans only, which I think is really important because it's sometimes too easy to get loans in. So it'll depend on what we get in, what we do with him. Romans has been fantastic for us. He will definitely play again. Lindhorst has been a decent backup. He's quite good attribute-wise. He's been like our go-to coming on. For Willemsen in that Volante role. There is Willemsen, had a decent season, 4 goals, 6 assists. I think he will get more next season when we push him on in that Volante role. Burden is someone that we're going to look at keeping next season. He doesn't really suit our style. He can play off the right. He's going to be no doubt a backup. He's only on 700 quid a week as well, so no doubt keep hold of Burden. Rashan Fernandez is a player that is transfer listed and we're hoping to get out the door. 24 years old. He's moaned about game time. He is Dutch, but at the same time, he's not of the quality that we want. He hasn't come through our youth system either. So I think that's a sale that we could do. Let's transfer list him again. Let's see if we can get some interest in him. Markello is a player that we're going to keep hold of for a season. Youngster, he is only 19. I do need to try and give him a little bit more game time next season out on that right-hand side. Avadson is going to be one of probably the more well-known players. He is rated at being 4-star. I've just not got a lot out. Physicals, he's good. We have been playing an inside forward on that right-hand side, and he's right-footed. He's not left-footed, so when he cuts in. And also his technicals, he's all about pace. I think if we go down a route of recruiting in this area, we still need to make sure that they're technically better than that. And that is a big, big issue. We get our pace and power from the wing-backs, from Willemsen as the Volante. We don't necessarily need it from that inside forward. We could maybe change the role. We just need someone technically better, and he's that. So we are going to transfer list him as well. A little bit of money potentially there to play with. How much is he on a week as well? He must be one of the bigger earners. 1,007, yeah, so be one of the top half earners. Tardelli we've transfer listed. Adi Kanye is not great, but has had a decent season for us. 6'9", 6.97, 11 goals, 5 assists. So he'll probably be our starting right inside forward again. Once again, we're not going to be able to sign 15, 16 players, so it makes sense to keep hold of some of these players that have done a decent job for us, but obviously going forward, he's not of the level. He's dribbling, his technicals are a little bit better. He's got decent technicals where we want him in dribbling and finishing, first touch and technique. Bit of pace as well, so that'll do for us next season. Siliasau is one that he's transfer listed. Hopefully we can get him out the door. He's on 2,400 a week. He's only been with us a season, 100 grand they paid for him, but he just doesn't fit. So I think he's quite nice as a little bit of a backup, but I do want to have 2. I don't want loads of these players that are very average. You know, he's not good enough for an Ngaunch. He can do an half a job as a winger. He's 6 foot, pace 14, but once again, technicals, not of a standard, and I think we can get more for our money at £2,500 a week. We've then got Bruno van Dungen, our youngster, who will definitely get some more game time next year. And the last one, was it Stockers? It is. Finn Stockers, 1.7 a week. He is Dutch. It'll all depend on what we get in, what's available. We have got, obviously, the youngster in Bruno van der Dungen, but I don't think I can rely on him as my second choice striker next season. So Stockers may be our backup. We do need to get in that number 9 next season. It's an absolute key. He's underperformed. XG 11.07 and he's only scored 8. So he's underperforming. We do need to create more chances. This is where the Enganche next season is going to be key for us. Maybe a little bit more upgraded quality in these wider areas as well. Now, looking at the league table... Oh, hang on. Is there anything to come into the reserves? I don't think there is. We've got this dude who's out on loan. I am going to transfer list him and see if we can get a little bit of money because he's got a little bit of money, a little bit on his wages. Any potentials? Techie's going. And we have this Randy Schiltmeyer. He's all right. 5'10", central defender. Look, 6 heading, 8 marking. 18 years old. We may try and get him out on loan next season. Robin Wenjenberg, right winger, 18. He's okay. Pace 13. We maybe need to get him out on loan next season as well. I think we might try and find a club affiliate. I think for next season, somewhere we can send these players out on loan, and that's it. So there's nothing in there. The under 18s. We do have some decent youngsters. Now, Patreons, if you want to get yourself in the game, you current patrons, I have over 30 Patreons, you're more than welcome to these players, and we can rename them. They do need, apart from Felix de Kock, what a name that is, we can change the face and the player's name. We want to give it a Dutch edge to most of these names, so there'll be a lot of Bergs and Steenvoort and stuff like that. But if you want to get in the game, put your name down in the comments, say you want to regen, and we will sort you one of these bad boys out. We've obviously got a nice, we've got a few here that are potential 5-star, but they're only 15, 16. There's one in here that's 17, Koyate, but he's not quite at the standard yet either. Okay, so there's a little bit to be done there. League table-wise, actually, our under 18's done. 3rd in the Dutch 3rd division. They're getting promoted, which is good. They were way off the pace. VV Venlo, and there's a lot of teams here that sort of like 2nd division, lower end clubs. I suppose where we're at, but we really would like to build this up next year. We'll keep our eye on our under 18s with those brilliant youth prospects that have come through. Our youth prospects as well, just so we've missed out. There is Felix de Kock, a really good centre-half, potentially 6 foot. Good physicals already. Bravery, determination. We just need to get some of them technicals up, but tackling already 13. K. Moser is an Albanian who's had a very good start. It looks like he's improving. 6 foot, pace 14, finishing 13, work rate 13, teamwork 15. Could he potentially get a very early call-up? Do we maybe leave him for a year? He is only just 16. Do we maybe just leave him for a year in the under 18s and look at season 3 calling him up? Get him training, get him scoring some goals, perhaps maybe in the under-19s and see how he does. But he looks very promising. And the other one, Gianni Ersterling, looks like an attacking midfielder. We'll try and get an Enganche on it. He's got vision of 10. I think we need to try and change his role a little bit. I can't see him being much of an effort, being much of a player for us, to be fair. Techniques 12, first touch 12. Teamwork, work rate, but vision 10. I suppose he's got a little bit to go. He's not going to be an absolute world beater. He could potentially be a little backup for us in maybe one of these attacking areas. Mitchell Dams is another one, 6'1" striker. We're going to have a decent strike force up there this season in the under-19s. Looks like he's going to be a bit of a bruiser. And Nabil Buftini is a young defensive midfielder, 15 determination, 5'8", 12 tackling. Could be a little terrier in there. What is technicals like? Passing 10. He's not bad. He could potentially be maybe a Volante down the road. Probably not a Regis. Determination 15, bravery 16. Natural fitness is good. We just need to get his strength and stuff up. We will outspoken, volatile, and confrontational. That sounds interesting. So we'll keep our eye on him. All right. That is the youth system. I said they're not ready to come through yet. There's nothing in the reserves. We will probably have a big clear out. I do not like to see my reserve squads too cluttered. There is too many players in there. So that I'll be very much trimmed down next season. The league itself finished 10th place. Disappointed with that because we're in the top half of the table for like literally all of the season. Apart from, we said 9th for the last, 13 games and then slipped down, which is disappointing. But good season, nowhere near the relegation. Hopefully we can build. 34, 46 goals conceded. We want to try and get in a positive goal difference next year. I would like maybe, 10 more goals and get that down to sub 30. not sub 30, sub 40. I would take that. And we can do that by just, I think, increasing the quality in that attacking area, in particular that centre forward. Into the statistics itself, against other clubs, 4th in terms of possession, so really happy about that. Attacking wise, we're 9th, so remember we finished 10th, so it's interesting to see where we're at. So we're about right where we are, but then you can see the clubs above us, 47, 49, 54, 54, 66. So we've done well, actually, to probably finish 9. There's a bit of a drop-off here. We need to make sure we stay with these bigger boys. Obviously, maybe Camber for Fortuna Sittard have had good seasons with some of the players that they got, which we are trying to chase. We're going to try and... I don't know how hard it's going to be, especially if they get into Europe. But Eredivisie has had a really good season. Willing to explore his options at the end of his contract. Imagine getting him 6'6". He scored 24 goals in the Eredivisie. I think he's probably going to be out of our range. But we'll try. So it's important to try and improve on next year so we don't get sucked into this bottom half here. I think a lot of clubs as well that come up into the Eredivisie often struggle. So we want to make sure we kick on, keep away from that relegation. I think the board will want same again, maybe a mid-table finish, which I think is going to be easy enough. We're not having any real problems. I think our recruitment will be smart. Remember, we have got Niek. Someone in the last video did say his name. It is Niek de Jong. So Niek de Jong. What do we do with him? He's only 5'6", but he'll need to work on his strength. Potentially a really good. I think he could do an job as an enganche, personally. Technique, passing. What's his vision? Vision 15. Strength not great, so he'd be good. What I don't want is my Register to be too lightweight, because even though you don't ask for defensive responsibilities from Register, he is playing in front of the back four, so you do want him to win the ball a little bit. So I would prefer to be a little bit better defensively if he's going to be a Register. Goals per game, as I said, 9th. Expected goals over performance. PSV have had a crazy season, overperformed on their XG by nearly 24 goals. Us, we are under, so that is really disappointing. I think you always want to be over your XG because it shows that you're doing something wrong. Fingers crossed, as I said, get that striker in to score the goals next season, and that, fingers crossed, will change. I'm saying fingers crossed a lot, I've realised at the moment. Obviously, we need to be smart in recruitment, which I think I'm going to be playing this tonight. I've got 4 hours just to play through, find some players, and make some sensible decisions. Expected goals, 8th. Goals from set pieces, 0. So we need to get some set piece routines sorted. That is really disappointing. Direct goals, 1. Is that direct? Direct from free kick. I think that number's wrong. I'm sure we scored more than that. No corner goals, as I said. Indirect, 4. Yeah, we've got a lot to work on set pieces. Pass, completion, joint, top in the Eredivisie. So really happy with that. 88%, as good as Ajax. Better than the champion, so really happy with that. And obviously you can see teams like NEC, who just avoided relegation, have had a really good season. Look at this dude and keep pointing him out. I want you. I want you. He's on loan. They may give him a game next season at Espanyol. Yeah, they may want to give him a game next season. But we'll see. That's his loan deal, so he is going to be going back to Espanyol. 19 goals, an absolute beast, 6'1", pace. Tremendous mentals, and his technicals are decent enough. So I think I want that number 9 to really stretch the player next season. If we don't get that in, then we might have to look at changing an enganche to a shadow striker to get that balance. So at the moment, I want the pressing forward to really stretch the player, to leave a little bit of a hole for the enganche to play. However, we may change it. It has to be a target man. Target man can drop off, and then we'll maybe change that enganche to a shadow striker, or maybe get rid of the inside forward and play an enganche and a shadow striker up in the central area, potentially. So they're little ideas that I'm already thinking about. I said it all depends on the recruitment. Passes completed, as you'd expect, because by pass completion, 3rd best in the league, so really happy with that. Chances created, 82. I'm not quite sure where a player directly creates a chance or a half chance. Okay, so it needs to be a big chance. So we want to get that over 100 next year. That's the plan. Get that over 100. I think what I'm going to do is make a spreadsheet. I might make a spreadsheet with a lot of these team statistics, so then we can monitor it throughout the season. I think that's a really good idea. Future Matt, remember that. You know, how many passes we've completed during the season, how many chances we've created, goal difference, XG, stuff like that. And then we can monitor our progress as we push on through the leagues. I think that'd be a good idea. Shots for 397, top 7. So we are getting shots off. I think maybe the thing for us is that the quality of shot is probably the problem. Shots on target, 8th. Conversion rate down in 14th. So that is an issue. Shots per game high. I just think the quality of our shots is probably the problem here. High intensity sprints, happy with that. Up in the top third, joint with FC20, so third best. Final third passes as well. Look at this. Final third passes. We're up in second position. So we're getting the ball in there. We're keeping it. We're just maybe, I don't think we're creating good enough opportunities. And obviously at the same time, the opportunities we're not getting, the opportunities we are getting, we're not taking them. So we need to really make sure this Enganche play that we get in has the creativity. Do we change to a shadow striker and a central forward, target man forward maybe? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Now defending, quite happy. 8th in terms of goals conceded. And we were expected to concede 42.22. So we've done okay there. 7 conceded from corners. So we're not scoring from corners and we're conceding from corners. So that needs to be changed. We do have quite a small squad. The centre-halves are not massive. The wing-backs are not big either. Romans, Teki, 5'7" as the register. Adi Kanye is about 5'7". So yeah, we maybe need to think about the type of player we bring in to help with us with set pieces. Clean sheets, 8, not bad. Try and get that into double figures. Fouls made, not enough. We are asking to dive in. We're quite controlled, I suppose. Tackles won, quite low. But you would expect that, obviously, because we're not trying to get stuck in. We're not pressing at a ridiculous level. Tackles won ratio, very good. So when we do tackle, we make them good ones. I'm happy with that. Blocks, possession won, lowest in the division. So we are quite passive. We are pressing high. But I'm asking them not to go crazy. I'm not asking them to dive in. More often trigger press. Yeah, okay. That's an interesting statistic that we're actually that low. The one statistic that I really want to look at is the passes. So we're up there. Okay, so that's not bad. I think we maybe increase our press a little bit next year and try and improve on these numbers here. So we're down 11th. So opposition PPDA, so 4.35. Okay. If we can get that below 4 next season, maybe that would be a good target. Obviously, we need to press better. We have got an Enganche in there. Yeah, we can maybe be a little bit more urgent with the press. We might say, do we? The only thing is, we take that role out. Adi Kanye then can he be a shadow striker? And also, do we build a tactic around someone who is very average? He said he could be a shadow striker. He could actually be a shadow striker next year. Okay, so we may do that. It might just help us press a little bit, potentially. Have someone in there with the Enganche, pressing the DMs, pressing central midfielders, pressing centre-halves a little bit more. Potentially, maybe get the wing-backs being really aggressive and going up the pitch. Maybe not man-marking full-backs, but pressing full-backs a lot more. So we'll definitely try and work on that. And obviously, that will help with some of these defending numbers. Passes attempted against us as well. We're up in the top 7. Obviously, that's, we're dominating the ball, but then we are quite passive when we are defending. Flip side of that though is the passive defending and the structure and not being over aggressive. Have we got counter press on? We've got counter press on, but I'm pretty sure I changed that at some point during the season, so that will definitely have an effect. You would have thought next season. Top 6 for final passes against us in the final third, so that's not bad. You'd expect that with us obviously having a lot of the ball. And then average attendance, a few little stats to finish. 12th. Only 9,000. We've got a capacity of about 10,000 there, so we're not going to get much bigger. There you go, 98% full. Stadium sellouts, 8. Highest attendance, obviously, Ajax. Lowest attendance, Excelsior. Transfer spend, Eindhoven, we didn't spend a penny. A salary, we are the 3rd lowest in the division. Excelsior, 1.83, 1.97 for Voldem, and 2.38. There's even a big jump. Where we were in this area here, you're looking at around £4 million. Have we been told our budget for next season? I think we're waiting for this season to finish, because we've still got some games left. Have they kind of told us what we're getting? Next year, 66. So we're committed sending, we've gone over budget this season, 57, but they are giving us 66 for the season. Okay, so that's not bad. How much is 66? Okay, 66,000. Town's 52 is 3.432 million. Okay, which is a little increase. A decent increase. We're up to about 10th and 11th, so we'll see. We'll see how that looks for next season. All right, so there's a little bit more money to play with. That will help. That will obviously help. I don't think we need to make the squad bigger. The squad is fine. We just need to improve. We didn't have much to call on off the bench. So a lot of these players that started this season, hopefully we can bring 4, 5 maybe in to really push that starting 11 for next season. And then the data hub itself, is there anything in there? You know, there's a few, you know, low scoring, leaky defence. We're kind of in the middle for a lot of these. Defending in the middle. Again, it's average. But I think for us, an average season in terms of Eredivisie average is a good season because we're expected to get relegated. You know, low scoring, wasteful shooting below average. So we need to be better. Not in passes attempted as well. Very good dominating in these deeper areas, obviously, where we have that overload, where we're trying to create. Pitch tilt as well, just so you can see. Look at Ajax. Final passes down at the bottom, going across. Final passes going horizontally, and final passes going against vertically. So we want to get this low. We want to be a lot lower next season. A lower and wider. How closer can we get to Ajax with the pitch tilt? They're always going to dominate, aren't they? Especially with the current players that they've got. Possession as well. Reliable in possession, but infrequently wins the ball. So that's where we want to be. We want to be up. You know, teams like Canberra are obviously playing quite aggressive, quite direct. Can we get up along, you know, this side? So we're keeping hold of the ball, but having more possession won. So that's the key. I think we're going to work a little bit harder with our front players, I think, next season. Can the Engaunch do it? Maybe what we try and do is get the shadow striker pressing forward. And can we get the Engaunch in a central role? So what we have is with the Engaunch is mark the area of the DM, marking a DM. So can he just stand in front of the DM and then that will help with us winning possession, you would have thought. Okay. So maybe, you know, do we go with something like that? Do we go to a shadow striker? Allows a little bit more space for that right back to get up. You know, can he dribble more maybe? Something that I'm doing in the playoffs at the moment with my team, with my side there. Asking the wing backs to dribble more. Okay. Maybe put that on them to just onto a support. Something looking a little bit like that, potentially. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Okay. That is, you know, that. I think the one thing we'll actually quickly look at is just the general, you know, goals. 11 goals for Adikanye, 9 for Romans playing as our register, and then 8 for Stockers, 6 for Williams. So, you know, we need 2 or 3 players to be getting double figures. We need, you know, we need that number 9 to obviously get double figures. We need maybe, you know, Bobby Adikanye again, double figures from the wide area inside forward or shadow striker. The Engaunch is an interesting one. Diego Tardelli, 1 goal, 1 assist. So a bit of an issue. And also, we've only played it 1 game because we've been playing as a trequartista. So, as you can see, clear-cut chances, he's created a couple, but we want him to be creating, you know, multiple clear-cut chances per game. And obviously, over the last, you know, he's run as a trequartista. I think the thing with the trequartista, because they roam a little bit and roam into wide areas, they're not directly contributing to clear-cut chances. So if I just have him there as an Engaunch, in there, playing them past, remember that video that I showed you from the stream the other week with my Foggia save with that Engaunch, just getting into really lovely areas and playing people in. Fingers crossed we can get that. It's all about who we could sign in that area there. I'm hoping, boys, that it is going to be a name. It'll be over 30, fingers crossed, and it'll be a name. Just someone sitting there, vision, passing, technique, get in, slip them little passes in for an overlap, slip them little passes into a shadow striker, pressing forward, maybe getting on the end of a few things as well. We did see that with Koric and my Foggia save. So yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Season 1 done with the Eagles. We move on. Top half finish, essential. Can we sneak into that Europa League sort of like place, that top 4? What was it? 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. I think that needs to be the target next year. Obviously, a couple of teams above us. You know, teams like Heerenveen, Fortuna Sittard, Canberra. I think they're potentially teams that we can chase next season. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Smash a like on today's video. Put loads of comments in down below. Let me know your thoughts about that tactic as well. Do we move that shadow striker across? Will that help us score more goals? I think potentially it will. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We'll see you. So this is what? Sunday night. We'll see you on Tuesday. Start of season 2. Transfer special. Gonna be good. All right, guys. Take care. See you later.